It's been a rough go for recently arrived Dakota Kai, who scored singles wins over Patty Powers and Danielle Heathcote, only to be stopped cold in her momentum by Jody Dvorak, Jeannie Parker, and Les Femmes Fatales. But Jody has made an extra special target out of Dakota Kai, attacking her repeatedly after beating her into consecutive matchups. Well, if there was any doubt, Jody's already stated that she won't stand for Dakota Kai, Blair Davenport, and Carmella, the so-called future endeavor to build any reputation off of established RWL stars, least of all herself. If there was any doubt as to Jody's bad intentions towards Dakota, they were dispelled with this announcement from Jody earlier this week.
Hi out there, lovers. Well, your Memphis Millionaires, your women's international champion, has 'em all talking. I've spoke loud lately because I want Dakota Kai and her cronies, her pretend counsel, to hear me good. You're trying hard to be something when you're just nothing painted blue. I've made you suffer, yeah, and it's been a good time. But fun time is over, little Dakota. See tonight, you got the chance of a lifetime, a shot at the RWL Women's International Championship. All you gotta do, honey baby, is beat me in a 2 out of 3 fall steel cage match. I should thank Liberty Bell, because she's the big yapper who suggested it. She should be grateful, because there's gonna be nothing left of Dakota Kai for Heathcote to pick through when I get Dakota inside that cage, because Jody is not losing this women's international belt.
It's outrageous. On Snarl tonight, a 2 out of 3 fall steel cage match for the Women's International Championship between Dakota Kai and the whip kitten Jody Dvorak.
This next best of 3 fall steel cage match, set for 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the WL Women's International Championship.
I mean, guys, this is nuts. How often do you see a steel cage match on Snarl? Jody Dvorak must be pretty sure she's going to retain the Women's International Championship.
Well, there's a lot of guts from both sides here, choosing to willingly engage in a best of 3 fall steel cage match. Gutsy for Dakota Kai, with the streak of bad luck we've seen in the pre-match package and as brutal and volatile as her confrontations with Jody Dvorak have been. Here she is, ready to undergo her most difficult challenge since landing here in RWL. Then, you've got Jody Dvorak, who's still sporting some bruises from her Hell in a Cell match with Liberty Bell Danielle in March. She's earned tons of experience in specialty matches.
And most of them against Danielle Heathcote, hardcore matches, steel cage matches, casket match, and of course the Hell in a Cell at the Spectrum. Dakota Kai isn't going to have anywhere near the level of experience Jody's coming into this one with. I don't see the Women's International Championship changing hands tonight.
But there ain't gonna be no question marks at the end of this one. There'll be nobody at ringside, no seconds, which means we gotta have a clean finish, one way or another.
Love or hate Jody, not having the $1 million man ringside won't make any difference, since Jody Dvorak has gone it alone plenty of times with no problem. In fact, she's probably more focused with no distractions from her opponent. And man, she can really let her inner mean shine through.
And if she made the challenge to Dakota Kai, and she put the Women's International title on the line, she obviously knows something we don't. But I'm favoring the champ in this one. It's a steel cage match and Jody can handle herself in one of those. You know, another interesting thing about this is that Dakota Kai is getting this title shot after really not being here all that long.
The challenger from Auckland, New Zealand, here is Dakota Kai. from a challenge, awards the blame for this match on Danielle Heathcote for publicly suggesting it. Jody has implied it's a shame Danielle didn't want to make it a triple threat match.
All right, they're lower in the cage. Dakota Kai and Jody Dvorak, Women's International title, best of 3 fall steel cage match, and here we go. Jody Dvorak, caught up by Dakota Kai, snap suplex. Dakota Kai moves in, locks Jody up, takes her toward the ropes. Dakota Kai bouncing Jody Dvorak off the ropes with hard forearms to the back. Goes behind her, Jody again, slams her down, goes for a cover. But only a near fall. Jody Dvorak catches a double boot stomp to the midsection. A kick to the chest. Dakota Kai misses with that stomp. Jody with a slap and another suplex to Dakota Kai. Jody Dvorak again, another one-arm suplex this time. Good hitting Jody Dvorak. Misses with the slash. Dakota Kai, one-arm backbreaker. Jody Dvorak in trouble on the canvas. Dakota Kai starting to open up here. Fireman's carry from Jody. Dakota Kai with a kick to the midsection. Sets her up, look at this. Whoa! Nasty spinning neckbreaker from Dakota Kai. Dakota whips Jody to the ropes, ducks under. Nice power slam. Jody Dvorak back up on her feet. Rounds up Dakota Kai again. Has her up for the vertical suplex, but Dakota Kai counters, goes behind, delivers a shot to the back. Whips Jody Dvorak out onto the apron between the ropes and the steel cage. Jody Dvorak hung up on the top rope, down she goes. Dakota Kai going for a cover. One. But only just a one. Dakota Kai rounds Jody up again. Hard whip to the ropes. Here comes Jody. Another arm drag power slam from Dakota Kai. Look at this, making her way to the top. Here we go. Oh, double boot stomp off the top turnbuckle. Dakota Kai grabbing control of the match from Jody. Jody with a kick to the head. Jody Dvorak takes her down. Jody locks up Dakota Kai. There's the belly-to-belly suplex. He's beating Dakota Kai with that one. A backbreaker to Dakota Kai. Jody Dvorak goes behind. German suplex. And she is just a suplex machine, ain't she? Jody Dvorak rounds up Dakota Kai. Couple of chops, a kick, grab to the ankle. Dragon screw takes Dakota Kai down. Getting back up to her feet against the ropes. Jody tries for the side suplex, but Dakota Kai with a beautiful counter. And Jody's back into the turnbuckle, turns her out to the center ring, goes for a cover. Only just a one. Dakota Kai slamming the face of Jody Dvorak into the canvas. Jody back up on her feet, charges, misses with the running knee. Jody has a rough backbreaker to Dakota Kai. Oh, nasty knee to her face from Jody Dvorak. The Women's International Champion with Dakota Kai in an inverted suplex. Dakota Kai back on the defensive. Jody Dvorak literally biting the hand of Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai catches a knee to the arm from Jody. Jody goes back for seconds here. Another knee driven into the arm from Dakota Kai. Dakota rounded up. Jody Dvorak, look at this. With the package, with the pin. 1, 2. Well now. just another near fall for Jody Dvorak. Dakota Kai catches a stomp to the face. Jody Dvorak going in for a crossface, a possible submission here. She's got it locked in. Dakota Kai with nowhere to go. But no, Jody releasing the hold. Look at this laughing at Dakota Kai. I guess she figures she's got this one in the bag. Jody Dvorak rounds her up, catches a jawbreaker from Dakota Kai. Takes her to the ropes. Nails her with a kick. Hard whip to the ropes for Jody. Dakota ducks under. Arm drag. Dakota Kai with a series of kicks to the leg. Another kick to the midsection. Another kick to the midsection, and Dakota Kai setting this up here. That inverted spinning neckbreaker from Dakota Kai. Dakota, of course, uses that chiropractor finisher. And she's used it on Jody Dvorak, and Jody Dvorak didn't like it not one bit. Jody escapes the corner. Whips Dakota Kai to the... head first into the steel. Dakota Kai got nailed with that one. Jody Dvorak rounds her up. Drives a knee into the leg of Dakota Kai, just about center ring. Dakota Kai counters with an arm drag, slams her down face first to the canvas. Follows it up with a series of stomps. Jody Dvorak back on the canvas, back onto the defensive. Jody Dvorak in trouble here. Look at this double boot stomp from Dakota Kai. Again, Jody Dvorak can't take too much more of that. A series of short kicks and a slam of the face to the canvas from Dakota Kai to Jody Dvorak. Again, the Women's International Championship on the line. Best of 3 falls. We ain't got nothing like a fall or a submission yet. Jody Dvorak taken down to the canvas. Dakota Kai slams her face down to the mat. Dakota Kai stalking Jody Dvorak here. Let's see what this is. A kick. Dakota rebounds off the rope. There it is, the chiropractor. Nails Jody with it. Here's her cover. 1, 2. And there's just the 2. Jody Dvorak getting that left shoulder up. Dakota Kai can't believe it. And if Jody Dvorak gets up from there, Dakota Kai's going to pay for using that chiropractor. Look at this. She misses. Jody nails her with a right. And Jody's mad. Whips Dakota to the ropes, goes behind, suplex with a pin and a bridge. But only just another near fall. Jody Dvorak nails Dakota with a right. Locks her up. Almost drove her into the steel. Dakota putting on the brakes. And here's a possible submission. Jody Dvorak stretching the leg of Dakota Kai. Dakota turns herself over. Fights her way out of the hole. Pinfall, submission, or you can climb out of the cage. Those are the rules. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Jody Dvorak. A kick from Dakota Kai. Wicked kick from Dakota Kai right to the face of Jody. Jody seated into the far corner. And Dakota Kai starts putting the boots to Jody. Rebound off the rope, there's a face wash. Jody Dvorak rolls out of the corner. Dakota Kai still stalking Jody Dvorak. Jody counters with an elbow. Locks up Dakota. One arm backbreaker from Jody Dvorak. Jody again biting the hand of Dakota Kai. She was never going to be polite in this one anyway. A series of kicks from Dakota Kai. Swing and a miss. Jody Dvorak takes her down. Jody has her up the inverted vertical suplex from the whip kitten. The Memphis Millionaires moves in on Dakota Kai. A counter whip to the ropes. Look at this. Dakota can't even catch up with her swing and a miss. Jody Dvorak rebounds off the ropes and takes down Dakota Kai. That was absolutely beautiful. Wow. Jody drives an elbow. And another into the chest of Dakota Kai. Goes for the cover. And there you go. We got our first fall. Jody Dvorak picks up the first fall in this 2 out of 3 fall match. One more and she's home free. Jody stomps the arm of Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai with a running drop kick takes her down. There's a kick from Dakota. Dakota whips Jody to the ropes. Look at this. Nice takedown and an even more beautiful kick to the chest to Jody Dvorak. Dakota Kai with Jody back on the canvas and all the time in the world. She makes her way to the top turnbuckle. There's another double boot stomp. Jody was motionless, going for a cover here. But no, Jody powering out. Jody Dvorak gets back up to her feet. Dakota Kai with a forearm takes her back down again. Dakota Kai with a kick. Rolls her over for a pin here. Look at this. No, a submission. How about this right here? Jody Dvorak in big time trouble here. Jody counters and escapes. Dakota Kai makes her way to the top again, but changes her mind. Jody getting back up to her feet here. Dakota Kai has her up over the shoulders. Wow. Stunned her with the knee. Here's a cover. And now it's tied up at 1 apiece. Dakota Kai picking up a pin over Jody. And she looks confident too. Series of short kicks slams Jody face first into the canvas. She knows she's just one pinfall away from becoming the Women's International Champion. Jody rolls out of the way, locks up Dakota. Drives a knee into her midsection. Dakota Kai gets back to her feet. Jody clubs her with a right. Locks her up again. Whips her to the far corner. Jody with a chop across the chest. Sets her up on the top turnbuckle. And takes her for an arm drag ride. Dakota Kai laid out about center ring. Jody with a stomp to the face. A whip kitten wraps her up for the crossface again. Has her center ring, stretching her. She's in big. There it is. She is tapping out. Jody Dvorak retains the Women's International Championship by submission, 2 out of 3 falls.
The time, 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Your winner defaults to 1, and still Women's International Champion, Jody Dvorak.
Dakota Kai was in there fighting for her life most of that match. He managed to get just 1 fall on Jody Dvorak, but the whip kitten retaining the Women's International Championship. And we'll be back with our main event right after the break.